Hello everyone, this is Mr. 13 Things, following up on what you would do after you capture that handwritten quiz, either on your Elmo or on your cell phone or whatever you do, and how you could get that into Khan Academy. Remember, we're modeling on what they've been doing at Udacity. We don't have all those grad students at Stanford helping us, but we can make a pretty reasonable approximation. So what I'm going to do here is just show you how you first get I'm going to go into the command prompt in DOS here, how you get your system running with the local server. So you're going to go to the directory that you want to work out of. In this case, it's wherever you have your Khan exercises. So you go there and you type this, the path of Python. In this case, it's Python 27 for me, / the program Python, -m, and then the command simple lowercase with a capital S, HTTP server. You're basically getting a server running. You could also do this on your XAMPP or whatever else you're going to do. You need to get a local server running. It looks like that when you do. And it's not working, so we're going to hit a Control-C, / Python 27 / Python -m simple HTTP. If it doesn't work, you hit a Control-C or close it out. We'll try it one more time. Sorry for the dog. We're going to go again here at the command prompt. You go to the directory you want to work in, cd / cd Khan. This is typically where your GitHub would be. You then type C : / Python 27, if that's your Python, Python -m simple HTTP server. Again, what this is basically telling you where the program is. That's the program, and running the server. It should come up and look something like that. Now when you run your web server, you're going to go to localhost. So you've got this running, you minimize that and bring up your browser. Okay, after you do this 6 or 8 times, it becomes natural, and it's something you should kind of develop because it's a great way to get your website and stuff working before you're out in the web. You're here, you just go to localhost 8000. It comes up, you click down to exercises, and you start clicking where you are. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to show you what it looks like once I brought it in and what the functionality looks like. So you see I've already gone in and brought that picture into the program. And have you ever designed a website? Yes, no, I don't remember, I will. In this case, there's probably not a correct answer, but you can see as I drag this thing around, it's reading false up here in the answer. But when I get it right inside there, inside that box, it's actually giving me a true. So it's actually checking the topology of this movable dot. Is it inside a particular shape? I'm going to go through and show you what the hints would look like. I'd like a hint. I'd like a hint. I'd like another hint. I'd like another hint. And eventually what I'm doing is I'm showing you the box that it's defining that. So I'm there, and I'm going to move this in. You see as I move inside or out, true or false. And you could have a different value for any number of boxes. You can appreciate that this, in fact, is how one goes about doing those cool little web apps where you're kind of tracking where something is on the web. So maps, parts of the body, even parts of speech in language. So some really good applicability here, especially if you have students working with GIMP and building something called that Alan November talks about a summer or two ago at the Intel Ideas Jam, the concept of legacy. Forming, again, formative, not necessarily summative exercises, but you could see where it could go from there. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let me show you how that came to be. We're going to go ahead now, look at the HTML for this. So we're going to go into Notepad or Notepad++. My machine here is a little bit iffy, so I'm going to use Notepad. I am going to open, know where it is, of course, Khan exercises. Very often you got to remember to go down to the all files. You get used to some of this, you're going to open that up. And where did I make the change? Going down through here. The changes I made were basically to change the file for the picture import to the quiz1 demo PNG, which was the file I captured, or that I wrote, basically that I saved and exported from the smooth draw, telling it, where to stick it and how big it was. Remember we were talking about knowing the size, so 640 by 480. We could move these things around. That's one thing, and the only other thing that we shifted is we played around with the coordinates of these points here, which define a box in a positive direction, which is counterclockwise in a right-hand coordinate system. So basically you want to make sure you define these going clockwise. You can start from any place, and that basically did that box. I can show you this. If we do that right here, I could basically make it a little bit, I'll move it down, I guess, about 0.5. So I'm going to make that 9.5. And this is minus, I'm kind of editing here. And as I do these, it's not saving anything until I save and read minus 9.5, minus 8, and minus 8. So now I hit File, Save. Now if I go back and rework this, you're going to see as I look at that box, right, I'm going to go through it like a hint. And again, the great thing about the Khan Academy exercise, I guess I didn't quite do it right, is it actually will remember where you click. So if I did something like this, it might say check answer and would say try again. It would then remember the next attempt. You know, try again. It's remembering each time when I'm writing, if you're writing it back to the server. If you are running it off of a local install, off of a USB drive, or even sometimes on your local network, you're not necessarily getting reports back, but obviously that is one of the values in this, is to kind of let you assess how students are doing in the classroom or when they're at home. It keeps track of what time they did it. Even a little bit about the IP address. You can help you determine whether it's from home, depending on how that proxy server is set up, or from someplace else. So you can think about how quickly you could turn around and add another exercise, especially if you started to get used to keeping your boxes in the same spot. Little trick there. So you can basically start with a template where you're kind of, you know where your check boxes are going to be. You can still do the handwriting if in fact it's something you find worthwhile. It lets you do some of the stuff that's really formative in that it's responding exactly to what you might have been doing in class. An example might be the day that SpaceX sends, or the Dragon space capsule goes up to the space shuttle the first time. You might be talking about that in math class, you might be talking about that in history class, you might be talking about that in English class. The concept of the new economy and private space load going up to the International Space Station at the time that we have sunset Skylab is in fact current learning. And textbooks don't necessarily grab that. And your quiz or your assessment, your formative assessment for last year might not have mentioned it. But you could think about putting something up like this and then having an ability to grade it. Perhaps keep some of these from year to year so we can talk, and you can talk with other instructors about how you go and do this, how you manage these files. But you can think about getting some basic templates, even in terms of shapes and the like, grabbing shape files. And so this is one of the great, I guess I'm going to say, hackable in a good way, manifestations of the Khan Academy exercise framework, and it didn't exist 6-8 months ago. It existed because of some innovative programmers coming in and doing this movable dots, movable lines, and the like. So there you have it. That's how you could go about taking something from just a hand-scribbled quiz into something that indeed gave you a clickstream for answers. Thanks for listening.